Number 29, a cuboid with dimensions of 7 by 7 by 12 was made out of small cubes with dimensions of 1 by 1 by 1. So here we have 7 by 7 by 12. Okay, the cuboid was then painted. How many of the small cubes have exactly two sides painted? All right, so now let's think about which blocks or which cubes will have how many sides painted. Okay, so first of all, the blocks in the corners, in these corners, will have three sides painted, right? This face, and this face. Okay, so because they're exposed on three sides, so the cubes on in the corners will have three face paintings, and then the cubes in the middle of each face, like in the middle of each face, will only have one face painted because they have protected on three sides by other cubes, right? So now, what about the cubes that are along the edges, along this edge? But not in the corners. So these cubes are special because they will have exactly two faces painted. They are on the edges, so they are exposed more than once in the middle, but they are not on the corner, so they are less exposed than the corner cubes. All right. So now we can. The next step is to calculate the total number of small cubes with exactly two faces painted based on the number of cubes along each edge. So the cuboid has 12 edges in total. Cuboid have 12 edges in total, right? Here we have 4, and here we have 4 again, four edges. And as for the bottom, for the bottom, we also have 4 edges. All right. So 4 edges are along the length, 4 edges are along the width, and 4 edges are along the height. Okay, so for each of these edges, we need to count the cubes that are not in the corners, as these are the cubes that will have exactly two faces painted. On each of the 4 long edges, we call these 4 long edges. So it have 12 units, and there are 12 taken away 2, which is 10 such cubes for each of the 4 long edges, because we subtract the 2 corner cubes at the ends of the edges, right? And for each of the 8 shorter edges, we have 8 shorter edges, right? They have 7 units. So there are 7 subtracting 2, which is 5 such cubes for the same reason, because when you subtract the 2 corner cubes at the end of these edges, right? So adding all of this together, we get a total number of cubes with exactly 2 faces painted. So 10 cubes times by 4 long edges, and 5 cubes times by 8 short edges. So we have 40, adding 40, and the answer is 80. There are 80 small cubes in the cuboid, that have exactly two faces painted. Alright?